Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Obviously, the big stuff that happened yesterday happened. It wasn't teams that sat on their hands, like the San Francisco 49ers, who acquired a no-name guy who probably won't dress for them. The Buffalo Bills, who sat back and did absolutely nothing. Good teams that have certain little holes or weaknesses that weren't addressed at all. And that's the huge for the NFL. But now that you see more teams are willing to make legitimate, deadline trades, I think everyone's got to get into the game. And I think in the coming years, the NFL trade deadline will be as exciting as the NBA trade deadline.
Yeah, and I think the big difference is it used to be after week 4. Many times you didn't necessarily know what you needed. Now that they've moved it to after week 8, almost everyone does. I think that played a role in the increase.
That's probably something. All right, so let's get into the big one. Obviously, the New York Jets get rid of Sauce Gardner, the most overrated cornerback in all of football. Good cornerback, Terrell Revis, and I think it's a great deal.
Yeah,
that's how my day started yesterday. The New York Jets trade Sauce Gardner, and what? They get not one, but 2 first-round picks from the Indianapolis Colts. I went and checked. The Colts do not have a good pass defense. They are 26th in the league. And this is a team that right now is the number 1 seed and the best team. They're right there with New England as far as record goes at 7-2. But they have legitimate Super Bowl aspirations. But you got to be able to stop the pass, too, especially if you're going to be playing games indoors like they are.
Fast track.
If they get home field advantage. Weather's not a factor. You can throw the football, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they overpaid to get him, but great job by the New York Jets, GM Muji, to get 2 first-round picks, 1 next year, 1 in 2027. So I was thrilled about that.
Excellent.
Because, again, Sauce Gardner has been called for more penalties than any cornerback in football. And I know he's going to say, but, how many yards do I give up? They don't throw at him that much. And when they do throw at him, he typically commits a penalty. I mean, that's just a fact of Sauce Gardner. And then the doozy one came in. Because our best defensive lineman is Quinnen Williams, all right? Quinnen Williams gets traded to the Dallas Cowboys, who clearly need help against the run, and a guy who also does get to the quarterback more than any other 300-pound guy in the league. He's got like 40 sacks in his thus far Pro Bowl career. He goes to Dallas. We get another first-round pick and a second-round pick. So we got rid of 2 guys, faces of the franchise for sure, homegrown guys, which is why some Jet fans didn't love the feeling of trading away 2 guys that are in their 20s, who we drafted, who's supposed to lead this defense, to the promised land. And we wind up getting 3 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a couple other players. A.D. Mitchell, Adonai Mitchell, who we get from the Colts. You might remember when Joe Douglas was the Jets GM. He was thrilled when Indy took him because we wanted Malachi Corley. Malachi Corley had 3 catches in his career and is no longer in the NFL. Mitchell's not great, but he's better.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And we get a nondescript defensive lineman.
We get Mosley Smith, a former first-round pick, but he has not played well so far.
Right. So I'm not worried about what those guys are going to do. They may not even be on the team next year. Yeah. But here's why I love it. And I want to be clear. I don't like it. I love it. Because for all the emotions and romancing we did about having Sauce Gardner, defensive rookie of the year, having Quinnen Williams, Pro Bowl defensive tackle, homegrown guys that we drafted. Joe Douglas drafted both of them. What did they accomplish here? Like, let's be honest with each other. Let's not invent things that didn't happen. They've never been a part of a winning season, ever. The best the Jets did with those guys on the roster was 7 wins. So why are we going crazy and crying about the fact that we traded them? You have to build through the draft. It's the easiest way, the best way to build, and then have the money available to go cherry pick a couple of free agents year after year. Well, we just freed up something like $50 million. So now we are going to be players this offseason in attracting, hopefully, top-level free agents under the age of 30. That's the goal. We're going to draft and have draft capital that nobody can match. So if there's a specific quarterback we want,
boom,
we have the goods to go get him if we're not picking number 1 overall. And right now we might be picking number 1 overall. Winning games this year doesn't mean anything. Matter of fact, it hurts our prospects of having a better draft. So getting rid of 2 of our better players makes it easier to lose. Not that we needed help.
Right,
We've only got 1 win.
But it'll be easier.
Yeah, and it's a direct message to the fan base. We know we screwed up. We know we're a bad team. And rather than try to put a couple Band-Aids on things year after year, we are legitimately now blowing it up. And I don't know how a Jet fan couldn't appreciate that, or at least if not appreciate it, go along with it. Well, you have every reason to be pissed because it's another year of ineptitude, so I get that. And I don't want to applaud the Jets or their hierarchy or the owner for doing something right, because you should always do the right thing. But the reality is that this is the right thing. We have 3 extra first-round picks and an extra second-round pick in the next 2 years. We're going to draft, if we're any good at it, 5 rock stars in the next 2 years if we don't trade those picks.
Right.
Now, the rub, of course, is Muji good at picking players? I thought he had a good first year. Yeah. Membau's a legitimate stud on the offensive line. So I think he's shown that he's got some ability to find a star in the draft. But now you've got the draft capital to either just stay where you're at, get 5 rock stars, 3 firsts, 2 seconds, right, in the next 2 years, or trade them to go get the quarterback you think is going to change the direction of the franchise. But yesterday for me, as a diehard Jet fan, was twofold. One, it was finally the official acknowledgement from Woody Johnson that he sucks, that the franchise sucks, and it's time to blow it up and literally start from zero. That's what we're doing when we get rid of 2 of our better players. We also have to acknowledge, as much as we love those 2 guys, that they never won a damn thing. And as soon as Robert Saleh left here, the defense on the Jets went south, and they've been an overrated group of players. That is a fact that cannot be argued against. So what are we upset about? I feel like I just won the Super Bowl, man, and I have no idea what that feels like. I thought the Jets had a great day.
They absolutely had a great day. And for Jets fans out there and other fans going, well, no, the Jets have to make the pick. Well, duh, but you got to get the assets. And just for a moment, before the Browns came back into the league and the Ravens were there, the Browns moved there, they had a similar stink on them that the Jets did. And in one draft, they got Ray Lewis and Jonathan Ogden in one draft, and they changed everything.
Yep.
They changed everything in one draft.
You got to draft right. That's the key to that.
But you got to get the picks to be able to do it.
I mean, it's a 2-step process. 1, you got to get the picks. 2, you got to make the right picks.
Get the picks.
They now got the picks.
Yeah.
And the fact that you got 2 first-rounders from the Colts for sauce, to me, that's highway robbery. So I'm not dancing in the streets, all right? But I'm happy.
Yeah.
The New York Jets, for the first time in a long time, acted like adults, acted like professionals, and acted with a certain level of competence. And it's weird, but I kind of like it. Yeah, it's good. It's good.